Hi guys, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the video number 319. My name is Ajay and I'm going to actually today educate you about that if you have ever faced a requirement, a situation where you were supposed to send the emails on hourly basis, then how you can do that using the Excel VBA, right? As you can see on the screen, this is the video number 319 and send Outlook emails after every 1 hour, right? This is going to be really very useful code, very exciting code as well, because in this you will learn a lot today. So I'm going to start this, and before I begin, I want to tell you, as you might be knowing that I have said this in previous videos also, due to some the problems in my laptop, actually you might not be able to see the screen the way actually it you see the screen. It is looking it looks actually little stretched out, and I do apologize for that, for this inconvenience, but I hope that as far as the quality of this video is concerned, in terms of learning and of course in terms of my voice, everything will be clear to you, right? So now in this video, for those who are watching the channel for the first time, this channel is dedicated to all those people who want to learn Excel VBA, MS Access and Access VBA. And I have taken up this question from one of my subscribers, Naman Agarwal, where he has written that he watched some video and he appreciated the stuff, and then he said, instead of every day, how can we set up the how can we set to every hour? So basically what he wanted to say is, if you want to email to someone, then instead of every day, how can we set it to every hour? So I'm gonna take up this question now today, right? Thank you so much, Naman, for writing me in, for leaving a comment on the channel, and today we are going to see this. There are some couple of, as you can see, some more questions also here, which I will be answering in the coming videos, but today we are going to start with this Outlook code. Okay, and of course, as I was talking about that, this channel is dedicated for all those people who want to learn the Excel and VBA. So guys, if I will be able to show you properly, if you can see that these are all the different playlists where you need to actually click, and you will find all the videos related to that particular category, right? So we have the Excel VBA Access interview questions if you are appearing for the IGP, or maybe you are looking for the exam, the test, you are applying for the job. Please go ahead and watch all these amazing videos. So there are a lot of different playlists. The video which I'm going to upload today would be under this category, Excel VBA connecting Outlook from Excel, right? So if you are new to the channel, then I want to tell you that we have almost 22 different videos on the Outlook, and in every time I have tried to upload something new, because whenever I receive any interesting question, what I do is I upload the video so that entire world can see, all of you can see and take the benefit of it. You can see here there are a lot of different videos. I have some videos also on the scheduling timer. This is entirely a different code. You can go ahead and watch this video as well, how to schedule the time for the emails. Okay, and if you just go ahead and scroll a little bit more, you would find here some more videos on the time. Okay, how to set up the time. For example, send email once in a month with a specific range, how to set up the time to run the macros. So these are all the different playlists. I'm not gonna really take much of the time on this. This is just I want to tell you, because if you're watching the channel for the first time, you should know that you have come to the right channel. Okay, so let's start the code now. So I'm going to open this Excel file, and let me maximize the file. Now this is what exactly the Excel file. Okay, and in this Excel file, what we are going to do is, I have written here subject, 2 different subjects, and in the 2 I have written here email ID called a@outlook.com and b@outlook.com, as you can see here. Okay, so we want that after every hour the email, the very first time the email should go to this, and then after an hour the email should go to this. And if you have a long list, you can write all the email IDs here with this subject, not a problem, right? And you can also write the attachments here if you want to add the attachment or the body, whatever. If you have watched my all those 22 videos, you know what I'm talking about. Just go ahead and watch that. That's something I'm not going to discuss in this video, because we need something new stuff here, right? So that's something you can watch from there, from those videos, how to send the attachment, how to send the snapshot, in terms of like copy and paste the range, how to add the signatures, how to write the the body part. So everything is there, all the emails. Okay, so in this video we are going to start with the time thing, how you can send the emails after every hour. Now before I jump onto the code, as usual I want to give you some idea before we start with the code, because that's gonna make you also easy with this video. Now first of all, what we will do, when the macro will start running, okay, when the macro will start running, I'm gonna record that time in the memory. Okay, so I will name that variable as, let's say, this s time. Okay, so this time basically yeah, sorry for that. I just had to pause the video for some reasons. All right, so I was telling you that we will actually going to create a start time. Now start time would come from the now function. You know the now function? I hope you know the now function. It's a function which records the current time. Okay, if I just scroll it here, I can show you the time also on the machine. Right now it's 25th of January and 1622 is the time. So you can see here, I get to see here 25th of January. Okay, so we will record this time, we will punch this time in the memory. Then there comes the target time. So I'm just going to create a variable which will be a target time. Now when do you want to send the email? So obviously when your code starts, it's going to be, you know, a different time. It's going to be ahead of this time. So let's say we want to run this at, let's say 1630. Okay, 1630 is the time when we want to run this. So we will put the condition, guys, here, that the moment s time, you know, is equals to the t time, you need to send the email, and you need to send the email by capturing this ID, this one, a@outlook.com. okay, and then once the email is sent, what it will do, it will come back to this code and it will increment the time 1630 by 1 hour. So the new time will be 1730. And then of course then this start time also, which is very static time 1623, you also need to refresh it. So every time this you know, when the code runs, this keeps on also refreshing. So the moment 1633 again becomes 1733, a second email would go, and that would go to the ID called b@outlook.com. okay, so let me just cut them. Let me cut them and put it somewhere here where you can see the code, because due to this some problem in the laptop, you know, I think you're not able to see the complete code. So this is where I will put the code actually. Okay, fine. So this is the column number, I guess it's a 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the column number 9 and this is the column number 10. All right, so this is how we are going to plan the things. Okay, so let me start the code now. So two important things. One is we are going to define the time, and the second important thing is that we're going to increment the time after every email. Okay, so let me show you my this time also. You can have a look here, 1624 right now it's the time. So let's go ahead and start the code. So I go in the developer tab and I'm going to click on the Visual Basic. This is how the Visual Basic comes, and let's insert the module, and I'm going to actually delete something here, the code. So this is how the code is going to start. Okay, so the first thing which we are going to do is we are going to check mark the Outlook library. You can see here Microsoft Outlook 15.0 is coming because I'm using Excel 2013. If you have a different version, you can I mean, per your version, you know, you would see here number. But the important point is you need to on this library. Now how you can on this library? If you're watching the channel for the first time, click M and it will take you to all the Microsoft libraries. So find it out here, they are all alphabetically sorted. So you need to check here where is the Microsoft Outlook library, and you would find here somewhere here. Just check mark it like I'm doing it, and the moment you press OK, the next time you would see this library on the top. Okay, after these default libraries, that's the first thing you will have to do. Okay, now the next thing which you want to do is you want to actually write the code here. Okay, so we're gonna write the code here, and I will write the code so that we can also see this time, because this time is very important for us. So let me just restore it. Yeah, and this is where we're gonna write the program. Okay, first of all, let's write the code. So there we go. Send email. This is what I will give the name to my macro. Send email, and in this we will simply write the code demo as Outlook application, outlook.application. I hope you are aware of these two lines, because this is all about the setting up the Outlook environment. Now once you have the Outlook, you need to send the email. So if you have watched my previous 22 videos, then you know that I had been talking in all those videos that whenever you want to send the email, you got to use a class called outlook.emailItem, okay, which would come from the mail item. This is mail item, and this let's name it a variable, this object, as omail. Okay, set omail equals to what? This is how we write o.create. You got to create that item, you got to create that email, so this is going to be email item. That's it. And now what I will do, I will write here email.subject. Subject equals to what? Now subject is going to be equals to, obviously, where you have written the, in the cell where you have written that subject. Okay, so I have to check what was the column number. Let's quickly check. So I'm on the column number 9, I think. Yeah, it's a 9 column, and this is the 10th column. So 9th column and the row number 2. Okay, perfect. So let's go to the Visual Basic, and so here what I will do, I will set up the row number, because row number, is something which has to be which you need to actually change every time, because first you will have the row number 2, and then afterwards you will have the row number 3 and 4 and 5. That depends how many number of items you have there. Okay, so I'm going to actually write here the column number. The column number is 9 and dot value. This is how the code is going to look like. Okay, what is the next thing we want to do? Obviously you will write here to whom it needs to be sent out. So you will write here cells, and then row number. Row number will remain same, we will just define it, and the column will change. It's gonna be 10th column. I hope that's making sense to you. Now obviously we got to define this portion, we got to define the row as well. So I'm going to, on the top of this here, I'm going to actually write global variable, which is our row number, as integer. Now I know you must be asking me, if you're new to the programming, or maybe if you're just learning it, and you know the VBA but not maybe to that extent, why we have defined this as a global. What is the need of it? Why can't we define here like this dim row number? So guys, the reason is very simple, because I'm going to use this variable in some another module as well, and that is the reason I'm actually trying to make it global. When you declare the variables as global, that simply means that they can be used anywhere, in any module, even in this workbook, where you can write the program, where you write the events, and we're gonna write there this time. So it is it can be accessible from any module. That's why we make it global. All right, now what is the next thing you want to do? The next thing you want to do, you want to simply display the email. Now I know you want to send the email, so you can use the send as well, but just to show you how the things are working, I'm gonna show you the display word. So the pop-up should come from the email. Okay, now what is the next thing I want to do? The next thing I want to do is, obviously, the moment it goes back to the your code, where it will then pick up the next time, which would be exactly after 1 hour 60 minutes from the time when this email fired. We would like to increment the row number as 1. We would like to have a new row number, so that next time this should be captured, and this should be captured. Okay, right. Now this is fine. This is the simple coding. This is a simple email. What exactly is important? The important part comes in this. You need to click on this workbook. Okay, this workbook. Double click here, and here we are actually going to write our code, guys. Okay, select here from this workbook. This workbook $_open will automatically come. You don't have to write it. If it doesn't come, if something else comes in its place, please remove that and click here on this portion. Let me just yeah, click here. These are all called the events, guys. VBA events. For example, would you like to run any macro if the sheet changes? If the sheet calculates, would you like to do something if sheet gets deactivated? Similarly, you got to choose the workbook open. So we will write this macro in the workbook_open event, which means whenever the workbook gets opened, this macro will run automatically. This will not wait for your button. This will not wait for your click. Remember, that is why we are actually writing it. Okay, and if you want to get more information, if you want to really start from the scratch, please go ahead and watch the playlist Excel VBA Introduction Series, and when you click on that, you will find there a video called the Excel I guess no, it's not actually, I think, Excel VBA Introduction Series. It's Excel VBA Events. Yeah, my mistake. Excel VBA Events. Go there, click on that playlist, and you would find here, I think, 2 or 3 videos, and there is a one video which talks about the basics of these events when we actually need to, you know, write them. So now let us start the code as I was talking about. So the first thing which I will do, I will create a start time. So I'm going to write here start time, as you're going to declare it as a date, and then in the same line I'm going to declare the target time. So I'll name it as target time, and this is also going to be the date. Okay, so now the start time would be equals to what? The moment the macro runs, the start time has to be equals to what? Now. Okay, if I put the watch code on this, I want to show you. Let me put the watch code on this. Now this is the watch code, and let me just move it little here, and this as well. Let's reduce the, yeah. So this is where your, you know, the start time would come, and just need to increase the width of this so that we can see the time. Okay, perfect, and I think this space is sufficient, or maybe we can put it here as well, but I just double click and put it here. This is fine. Okay, now when I run this macro, see what will happen. I'm going to run this right now, F8. I'm pressing F8, and there we go. So the time which comes is, it's in the date and the time format. If I just increase the width of this, you get to see here a time as well. 16:34, 10 seconds, and the date is 25th of January I was talking about. But we don't need the date, right guys? So we will extract, we will remove the date from it. So which function in the VBA does that? If you have watched my videos on Excel VBA function playlist, you know that there is a function called format. So I simply go ahead and I format it. So I'm going to format it, and I'm going to keep it HH, MM, and SS. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do that. Okay, so this way. Okay, or maybe I don't need the second part, so let's keep it simple because it's an hourly you know, hourly format. So I just keep it HH and MM. Now when you run this, see what will happen. Do you see that in the watch window, guys? Now you don't see any date, you just have the time called 16:35, and this is what exactly we needed. All right, so that's the first thing you understood about the start time, which will be captured in this line the moment the code runs. Now what is the next thing? The target time. So the target time, you have to define it. Now you need to define the time. When do you want to run this? So I'm gonna run this using a time function, time value function. You don't have to use the now here. Why would you use the now? Because you are not dependent upon the system time. You have your own time, and you want to trigger your email on that particular time, right? So I'm going to write here, let's say 16:40, for example, or maybe 45, let's say. Now this means that I'm going to run this macro for the first time whenever this 16:45 comes. Okay, whenever your start time becomes 16:45, it should trigger the email. So this is what now we are going to do. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the time also at the same time. We should have a look on the time also. So yeah, this is the time, and I'm going to maybe keep it here. This let's just resize these things. Okay, I'm trying my best actually to repair my laptop because it creates a lot of problem. Okay, but still, you know, I wanted to answer your questions. I because it has been a week, I haven't uploaded really a video, so a lot of queries have compiled up in my bin, so just wanted to actually answer all those things in the shortest possible of time. So yeah, so now I hope you can see the time as well, 16:37. So the point is, the important thing is, we are going to run the loop here. We will say that do while your start time is less than target time. Okay, or maybe I can write here just TT, and this, let's keep it ST in order to avoid the space. Let me just remove it because screen is not so big, so let's utilize this. So TT is your actually target time, and ST is your, you know, the start time. All right, this sounds perfect. So what I'm saying is that do while ST is less than TT or ST equals to TT. Now you want to run the condition. What is the condition? Here you will write loop. This is how we write the do loop. Now as long as start time is less than target time, or if it is not less than, then the other condition is if it is equals to target time, then you want to send out the email. Okay, so this is what we will do. Once if this condition gets satisfied, we will check that if ST is equals to TT, if the start time is now equals to the TT, then what should happen? It should call the macro called send email. Okay, and once it goes to the email and it sends out the email, then it would come back obviously to this workbook code. Then here we will increment that time. So TT will be added. We will add this time value of 1 hour. This is how you write, because you want to send the email after every hour. Okay, but obviously to show you how it works, I'm not gonna keep this 1 hour. This doesn't make any sense, so I will keep it 1 minute. So I'll write here 0, and this is how you can write 1 minute. And maybe you don't require this part, that's fine. You can simply increment it by 1 minute, right? So this is fine, and at the same time your start time should also be refreshed, guys, because start time, when the macro runs, there will be different start time, and when the email is going to be sent and then it comes back, then you need the start time to refresh, right? So we need that start time also to refresh. So I just noticed that I haven't actually changed these names. They are left. I'm gonna make it, yeah, otherwise they will create problem. Okay, so start time would be what? Again, the start time is going to be the format. We will capture the current time at that point in time, and we will have it HH and MM format. So you will have a new target time and start time, and they will be compared again. And if it is not the case, then simply end if, do nothing. Okay, so I can write here do nothing. Do nothing. I mean, I'm saying that if the start time is not equals to TT, then what you want to do? Nothing, right? Just else and end if. Okay. One more thing you would like to do here is that if this condition, when this is going to work, okay, when the start time is going to be less than this TT or equals to this, let's say TT, and it comes here because the condition satisfies. Now what if the ST is not equals to TT? Then the start time is not going to be refreshed, because this is written in the then part only. So you need to ensure that when it comes after the loop, again it should be revised. Your start time should keep on refreshing, otherwise you will be in a problem. Okay, when I run it, you will understand it, what I'm saying actually. So there we go. Okay, now fine. Now you have declared a row number integer, so row number should start with true, remember. So we come here and we're going to write here the row number variable is equals to 2. Okay, why I'm writing here 2? It's simply because of the reason the row number 2 holds my subject and the sender, the recipient, actually not the sender but the recipient, right? So it starts with the 2. You can program your things accordingly, right? So the row number would be 2 and that's it. Okay, now I guess we are through with everything, and we got to have a look here. So what I will do, I will simply put the watch code on the target time as well. So select it and put the watch code on it. Okay, perfect. Now you have your start time, you have your target time. So we're gonna increase this a little more, and I hope now we can see the start time and the end time here. Okay, so right now let me show you the time on this my system. It's 1642. So 1642 is the time, and we are going to run this at 1643. So let's go ahead and run this. There we go. All right, ambiguous name detected. Send email. All right, so I think I'm already using this macro name, so I'm gonna make it emails. Okay, send emails. Let's keep it. You can't use the same macro name. I think I'm using here. This is the one actually I was using, right? So don't be mistaken. It's just the error with the macro. You can't use the same names for the two different macros. All right, so let's run this, guys, and there we go. I'm gonna press F8. Right now I'm running it manually. You can see here, this is all right. So one more mistake we have done. The start time doesn't exist, so we need to delete it quickly. So I'm gonna delete it, delete the watch, because start time is now converted to the ST. So I'm going to just put the watch here. Okay, right. Now let me reset the code and let's make it, because right now on my machine it's already 1643. If you can look here, so let's make it 44. Now what is the idea? Let me run this. There we go. Now you see ST is also recorded and target time is also recorded. Now ST start time is never going to be greater than target time, guys, right? The reason is because target is obviously going to be a little ahead, you know, when you're gonna run this macro. Otherwise, why will you make the macro out of it? If you're coming to the office at 9 a.m., then obviously you would like to email it maybe at 10 or 9:30 a.m., right? It's not possible that you want the email to be done on the at 8 a.m. and you're coming to the office and you're opening this workbook at 9 a.m. That's not gonna work, right? So start time is always going to be less than that. Now the point is, here you have a start time at 1643 and the target time is 1644, which is less than, obviously the condition satisfies, ST is less than TT, right? So what will happen here, it will go in the true parameter and it will check, and you know that they are not equal. So what will happen, this email call send email will not work and it will go in the end if. And now here, this is what I was talking about, you need to refresh the time. Now this 1643, the moment it runs, what is the now time? The right now time is 1644, and look at this, guys, 1644 is there. You can see here 1644, 1644. Now when the both times are equal, it will go here and it will shoot out the email. So there we go. We're gonna have the email now. It's gonna take a little time, I think, because it's working with the Outlook. So there we go, there we go. And now email should pop up. Let me see if the email is there. Yes, the email has come. I can show you. This is the email, and let me show you. You can see here it is fired, guys. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and let's quickly run this. Row number is incremented, and now I have the, you know, the code in front of you. Now here we are going to add the target time again by 1 minute. So the new target time is there now, which is 1645, and ST, the start time, will also be again refreshed, which is already, you know, right now it's 1645. So what will happen now, when you run this loop again this will be equals to this. Okay, so again we will have a one more email which is going to fire, this time with the row number incremented by 1. So you will have again a one more email ID, and which is here in front of you. You can see here, let me show you. This is called the B at Outlook and the hello, right? And the another email which I have opened, this is called the A Outlook, and I can maybe, you know, just reduce the size of it so that you can see. So this is the first email actually, and this is the second email which you're seeing here. Let me just resize it. Okay, so both the emails are in front of you. This is the B, and this is the another one, which is aoutlook.com, right? So this is how, guys, you can program the things. Now I want to tell you a couple of very important things before. Right now I have obviously run it on the F8 mode, but this is not how we are going to run it. It is going to run on the self mode. So before I do that, I want to tell you a couple of things that let us just revise the things, summarize the things, what exactly is happening here. So now you see, the first of all, this is the code which you have written. Now every time what happens when you send the email, the next time when the code comes, it increments the time by 1 minute, right? So simply what happens, the target time, which is this target time 16:45, for example, if I run it right now, it became 16:46, right? So 1 minute after the previous value, ahead of the previous time, and then start time also immediately gets refreshed. Now obviously when it is going to send the email and it's going to come back to this code, it might be, I think, 2 or 3 seconds of a difference. So start time will always be lesser than the target time, because target time is incremented by 1, but the macro jumps from when it comes back from the module 1 after sending the emails, it's not going to even take, I think, 2 seconds. So start time will always be shorter than the target time, right? So you have to refresh it. But the point is, in this way, this loop will go in the infinite mode. Now for example, what I'm saying is, when you come to the office and you open this workbook, so the whole day it keeps on doing this stuff. It keeps on checking that what is the time, what is the next time, and what I need to send it out. Now I would prefer that once you are through with your emails, for example, you right now have only 2 emails, you may have 100 emails, that's fine, but let's do one thing. Let's put the code, let's put the constraint on the code that once you are through with the 100 emails, in my case, once you are finished with your 2 emails, just stop the code there, because otherwise this will never stop. Ultimately, when you will leave the office, then you will have to close it. You will have to forcefully close it, right? Which I think is not a good idea. So reset the code, and here we can write one thing, that for let's say check is a variable I'm going to declare. For check equals to 1 to 2. Okay, next you run the loop 2 times only, because I have only 2 IDs. And when you're going to run this in the do while, just check that if the check value is equals to 3, then what should happen? Then a message box should come, that's optional actually, that done. Okay, and exit the macro, that's it. Or you can also write application.quit. This will close the Excel completely. Okay, but I'm not going to use it. I will simply use the app exit sub. So either use exit sub or application quit. Application quit will quit the Excel. Exit sub will only stop the macro, right? So obviously now when you're going to use this check, you will have to declare it. So in the modules, we will declare this here, because in the this verbose you cannot make it global. So you got to use the module. So we will write here global check as long. Okay, and when you are going to send the email, the time where you are incrementing the row number, you also need to increment the check by 1, so that when it comes back to this workbook, okay, it should check that is it the check now going to be 3, because if it is 3, that means that 2 emails have already been sent out, and your job is done. So in that way I'm talking about, right? So now let's close everything and let's run this code, not manually, but I'm just going to I'm just going to actually close this file. But before that, let me complete the if condition. So what happens if the check is not 3, then what will happen? Obviously this condition will never be executed. It will simply go in the else and if, and it will do the comparison, and rest I have already shown you, how the things actually have worked there. So this is the only thing which you should understand here. This is your complete code. Okay, and let me put some indenting here. This is how you should write, so that we can understand also. Message box, and this is your then part, and this is your else part. This is how the things are going to happen. And this is the second line of the code, like this. You can put some indenting here. That looks good. Somebody in your absence should be able to see the code, should be able to understand the code, right? And this is your do loop. Perfect. And I can further go ahead and indent. Yeah, so this is the code, guys. Okay, so now we can do one thing. Before I run it, we can do further one more thing. We can quickly run this manually again. Okay, just to show you. Right now the machine time is 16:51. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it 16:51. So let's target it for the 16:52 is there now, so let's target this 16:53. Okay, so let us go ahead and run the code. Okay, so I'm gonna run this manually right now. Okay, there we go. Alright, so start time, let's have a look on the start time is 16:52 and this is 16:53. So we still have a 1 minute gap. So check is obviously it's not 3 because it's 1. We are just running it for the first time. Start time is not equals to target time, you know that, because there's a gap of 1 minute. So everything will go in the else, and here we will have the refresh. This is very important. Now this start time is going to refresh, right? It still shows as 16:52 because there might be a little difference of the seconds, right? But it is going to be 16:53 very soon. So this keeps on running itself. Okay, you can see here else if this is not equals to this. So again I'm back. Now here you have a new time, which is, you can see on my this, it's 16:53. So the moment I run this condition is now going to be satisfied. This condition, this becomes equals to this. Now this will run quickly. Let me run this quickly, and there we go. In the background you see that the email popped up, and now check is incremented, row is incremented. Again now we have a new time, which is a target now 16:54. Now again this will wait for that time. Okay, you can see here that now the start time is 16:53 and the target time, if I hover here, 16:54. So we will wait for 1 minute more. So this keeps on happening like this, else and if we will have a revision in the start time. You can see here it's still 16:53 and this is 16:54. So I keep running this. Everything is going in the else mode right now, you can see, because the time start time is not 16:54. There we go. There we go. Now we have a 16:54 coming up. Okay, so there we go, guys. Another email is going to be sent. There we go. You look at this, popped up. I will show you those emails, but right now we are back. Now again the target time is revised to 16:55 and this is going to revise again 16:54. So in this way, the entire thing will happen. Now what is the value of the check? Basically you need to check equals to 3, right? So when the moment is check is equals to 3, the macro should stop. So we have a done because you have sent out all the 2 emails and the macro stopped. There we go. That's it. Macro stopped, guys. Right? So this is the same thing which will happen when you close this workbook and reopen it. Okay, so the time in the machine is 54. I'm going to make it 56 for you, and I'm going to close this. There we go. Let me close the file. Yes, I want to save the changes, and let me quickly close these all emails. This one B, I don't want to save the change. Let me close this A, outlook.com as well. Once again, I apologize if you're having some trouble in looking at the screen, but I hope it's still very much clear. So let's go ahead and I'm going to open the that file, which is what was the name of the file? I guess it was the I have to see, just a second. Yeah, the file name was dummy, and I have to see where is the dummy one. Dummy, yeah, that's the dummy one. Let me open the file quickly, and I'm going to show you the time as well. So there we go, the file is opened, and the time on the machine is, it's 16:55. Okay, so let's wait for this. Let's see. You see that this is some kind of a processing going on. This is how when you open the workbook, it happens like this. So we will be having a, okay, the time is 16:56, and there we go. You can see here there's a pop-up coming on your screen. There's a mail which is drafted and it is outlook.com. Okay, so I just minimize it. and let's wait for the next time. Now 1656, we'll wait for the 1657, and there has to be another email which should fire, having a subject line hello, and in the 2 it should be b@outlook.com. so keep your eyes on the time. It's 1656 here and got to be 1656, and I hope the email should fire, and immediately afterwards we should have a message that we are done, and the macro should stop. So when you have workbook, you know, when you have this workbook open, you can simultaneously work. That's not the problem, right? So let's wait for this 1656. Got to be a little patient here, because I really can't control it, you know. All right, there we go, and 1657, and there is another email, guys. Remember, they are displaying because you're using dot display. If you use the dot send, they will be sent, and you won't be able to see any pop-up coming. Okay, so now let me minimize it, and where is the code? Yeah, that's the code. Done. The message box, and there is no, now you can see that it's not working. That sign is changed basically of my mouse. You can select the sheet, right? So this is your code, guys, actually, and let me show you again. You can pause the video and you can maybe note down the code. Please practice it. Some people, you know, they have requested that they want the files. Basically, I'm working on that. I'm gonna, you know, attach all those important things on my website from where you can download the files. But still, I would recommend you that you got to watch these. You got to write yourself. Don't please go for the shortcut, right? Because if I'm taking so much of a pain, I just have one aim, that I want you to be very awesome, pretty awesome in Excel and VBA and Access VBA. So when you write the things, you will get to understand a lot of things. So this is a simple code, and leave your comments, everything. And if there is any question, please let me know about it. I will come back to you. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.